All right, another day of working on our windshield of our T-51D Mustang. We've got those side panels positioned, we've got everything in place for the two sides of the windshield, and now it's time to work on the hat sections and actually starting to drill the holes that will locate all of this in place and get it mounted. This is going to be a multi-step process. We've got a lot to do. We've got to get all this in place, we've got to get the center then taken care of, and then we can finally get to the point that we can cut out the holes and see what this is actually going to look like with the windshield in place. So let's get to work. Okay, time for some more work on our canopy. We have two more pieces that have to be fitted before we really start locating all of this. And those two pieces are going to fill in the bottom part here and the top part here of the main windshield. The first one's really simple. It's the top. And it's just this really small piece here. Goes over that hat section. Gonna just stick it in there for the moment. Boom. Easiest fitting job of anything on this entire Mustang build. All right, so let's look at the next piece. Well, the next piece comes like this, and it's flat, and it has all these teeth here, which are actually tabs that have to be just slightly bent up, because what's going to happen is this is going to follow this curve here, and then it's going to have those tabs, just like the tabs here, bent up. So I'm going to use our trusty magnet band over here, and let's put a little curve on that. Some of this we just do by feel, but there you go, a little bit of a bend. Now let's see how it fits. Now, one of the things that this lower piece does, I'll zoom in there for you, is this lower piece actually forms the curve here. It's important that a windshield has a curve moving forward because you've got air pressure pushing down on this part right here. And so if I zoom back out on this, if we didn't have that, we'd be risking what's going to happen with the air pressure on a thin piece of plexiglass. So it's important to have that. It has this piece kind of bow out a little bit in here, and then it will transition eventually to flat when it gets up to the top. I'm going to take this back out and measure some new locations so that we can know when we're centered. You know, one of the techniques that I always like to do is to use my dial caliper, set it to something, in this case 1 inch, and then what's nice is you can just glide it along a piece and it actually makes a really fine little scratch mark there, but it's enough for me to be able to see, and then if I want to, I can go and take a marker and just put a few dots along the line. Okay, so what I've done is on each side, you can see there, I've put those little locating marks at different intervals, and you can actually even see the scratch that got put on there lightly and you're really just scratching off oxidation. You're not doing anything that's going to show up later in a paint job or anything like that. So I'm going to slide this back in, and now what I can do is I can locate this and see what actually kind of makes the most sense, and that is actually remarkably good. Gives me a really good line, and I can see exactly where this piece needs to be drilled in at the top. All right, so the next step now is going to be to drill that into place as well, and then we'll be ready to do the top one, and we'll have most of our windshield in place, at least in terms of the frame. Got to keep reminding myself to keep putting new drill bits in sooner rather than later. All right, well, that's another cool stage of building on our Titan T-51D Mustang. We now have the ability of climbing into the cockpit and seeing exactly what that view is going to look like straight forward through the forward windshield. Still have to go through the process of taking off each of the side panels. We'll make that in a separate video where we're going to take those off, we're going to cut them, we're going to fit the plexiglass all around, and you'll get to see how that all comes together and really then start to see the shape of how our cockpit is going to start to look. Until next time, I'm Jeff Simon for SocialFlight. Be sure to check out SocialFlight.com and the free SocialFlight mobile apps for Apple and Android devices. There's tens of thousands of aviation events, destinations, $100 hamburgers, you name it, and also great webinars. And that includes SocialFlight Live, which happens every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Just go to SocialFlightLive.com, just one word, and you can register. We have so many great guests on the show. It's really a lot of fun for everyone. So again, until next time, blue skies.